Ugh. Welcome, here we are. What the hell am I on? I don't know. I don't know what anyone else here is on as well because I'm... Huh. Yo, Bozy with the glove. Look, I'm not gonna false advertise. Most of the time. Also, what do you mean by any day? I have the starting screen here as a chance for people to get their little butts in here. I have that as the chance for people to waddle their way in here so that they're not missing too much, you know? Ignore what you said, wrong. Let me guess. 30. Cause Loon model, these aren't even a proper part of the model. These are just a stuck-on prop. This is just a stuck-on little thing. They're not even properly a part of the model. Next model, I'll make glasses as a proper integrated part, so that they're less jank. Also, we're just going to put some stuff in here for those. Well, to be fair, I did make them custom for the model, but they're not even technically a part of the model. They're a pin, spoiler, behind the scenes of the Vtuber stuff, they're just a prop that I pin onto me. They're not properly integrated, so they don't always perspective properly. Why did that sound like you say, I have no mouth and I must cream? I don't want to hear about your desire and need to cream. That is not something I need right now. That is not... so no show. Ah, good for her. Thank you for showing me your lovely cream. Just gonna pop that there for people to know. I did pin, right? That said message pin. Oh, what the? Why did YouTube change how... YouTube changed it recently so that polls and pins now show up at the bottom instead of the top. Is that what I'm seeing? Is that what I'm seeing? YouTube, why did you... YouTube. Why did you change that? No one was asking for you to change it from top. It's literally inverse of friggin...
YouTube must make changes to appease the eldritch horror known by the name of shareholders.
Whose held share is benefited by this? Okay, no, it's a vanilla YouTube, apparently. They decided, like, I've noticed that polls go on the bottom, instead of on the top. Yeah, that we changed a thing. We updated a single line of code. Oh god, YouTube, April Fool's was over a week ago. Get your shit together. Get your shit together. And good. For some reason, I think it's Limbus Company specifically that, like, bugs my drawing tablet out for some reason. Because a lot of the time, I notice... when I try and stream, I've had it where my drawing tablet just refuses to have pressure sensitivity. Which makes it really annoying when I'm trying to work on when I'm trying to work on scrotum? Yes, I am working on scrotum. What this horse so beats. You may beat your heart however you desire. What the hell? You ever just notice you have a color? What the hell? Sorry, I loaded it into the Clip Studio, and I'm just wondering what the hell. Oh, why are you attempting to tempt the universe to worsen your fates? Whether I am doesn't appear to watch us through. It is still quite all your streams. Huh? Did YouTube change how watch history works as well? Hold on. Did YouTube change how watch history? I mean, I see all the stuff properly on my end. I don't know what you're... The first... Most big companies are, unfortunately, servant of the first socks. Oh, that's a weird... Interesting. Don't know what YouTube, what you or YouTube buggered up there, but... I was working on this stupid thing. If I go quiet for long periods, it's because working on stuff. And therefore, probably go and be a bit quiet at places, but hey. Identity called I was thinking identity called was hard because of it. Well, that's unfortunate. Maybe you can be productive in an afterlife. Yes, like, all of the we are working on a thing. That how that works, right? That's how that is. I call you here, we're then all being productive. Also, I don't expect the stream / don't want the stream to be longer than 2 hours because I want to sleep at some point relatively reasonable so that I can do a potentially longer stream tomorrow. Ugh. Because I want to do a longer stream tomorrow for funsies. You're working on Gamba? You're still there, but... Maybe drop that attitude of cantisms, and instead adopt the attitude of candisms. Oh, that would explain what the... Love that for me. Wait, what? That makes sense. I love when I forget what type of stuff it is. Oh my god, I start... Me trying to be productive. Also me tickles my feet with my drawing tablet pen, therefore making myself laugh because tickle bottom of feet is haha. I'm very good at this whole productivity thing, if you couldn't tell. Very good at this whole productivity thing, if you couldn't tell. Ugh. Hey, how's everyone been? It's been a couple of days since stream. How's everyone been in the interim? Ugh. Everyone been consistently existing? I should probably have actual reference images up for what I am doing. One of the rare cases I'm working on a thing that is not for just myself. If anyone wants to know what you have been You missed the words.
That reminded me of that one SpongeBob episode where he has to do homework, but instead he rocks his chair around, then only focuses on adding detail to the...
My god, if that isn't so many people's lives, I feel like that is just people's lives. Reference images. For the sake of reference images, did you open? No. Now you open. Boop. Boop. why did it break? This can go here. And then we go to here. We go to here. Here. Yeah, this stream hopefully decent bit on the... You ever just looking through your folders, you accidentally hover a folder for a little bit too long, and you just see, like, contents of this folder, organs! And then you have to wonder what folder you just hovered, and why the folder is containing organs. How do you do that when teacher, I don't know how it is over in the Gurmangangi, but don't they ask to see homework at a point? Also, Ferd, I think you might know why I have a folder that has organs in it. You might actually be able to remember the relevance of organs. What was I looking for again? Right, that reference I mentioned, which means I'm in the wrong folder. This one. No. Yes. Doopy McRuperson. There we go. I walked through the class and looked at the homework and the paper that at glances. Okay, fair enough. I do remember at some point in school, I was just sitting there working on just something, and I did notice the teacher over my shoulder, like paying attention. I don't know, like trying to see if I needed help or seeing how I was doing. I just froze, slowly turned my head around to her, and in this exact tone just said, "I don't like being watched." And then she just like, "Oh, okay," and then walked away as I continued to work. The lovely, I really, really, really don't like being bothered, and will let you know about it that I was back then. That is effectively how it felt. This one should be a little bit simpler. And for those who don't know, whenever I do these work streams, it might be a bit quieter of a stream, unless a topic comes up that I feel the very desire to need and engage with. Huh. That he kind of knows what. I remember there was a time I accidentally kicked a desk into a friend. It wasn't a case of it was intentional. It was I was sitting with my legs up onto the chair of like one of those all-in-one desks, and I was just like, yes, comfy. And then the bell rang, and at the same time he got up to immediately leave the class, I also tried to lean up and get up from the class. But because my foot was on the chair of that desk, it kicked the entire desk forward directly into his gut. And the teacher looked at it, and I was just like, "Ooh, that was very not intentional. Didn't mean to do the harmies. I did not mean to do the harmies. That was not my intent." Okay, that's all one. Truly a loon violence moment. A loon violence moment, and you're not using the loon violence emote? Oh, right. I wonder why you're not using the loon violence emote. Ah, the fun that is the text-to-speech codes. You know what's funny? I've noticed the random chance text-to-speech code is like on a streak of really letting it through. And I'm noticing now, like, when are we gonna hit the dry streak? When are we gonna hit the dry streak of nothing for like a month coming through? I should do another stream where I have it be a secret rule or a secret trigger for being able to get the text speech going. That was a fun thing. Okay, guess you would be where I'd put that. But yeah, for those, I will at least say what I am working on. Didn't you make it so it's a guaranteed chance like April Fool's? I did! But as of since then, only April Fool's was the 100% chance. It has been back to 1 in 3 since then. Let me just real quick check that. Moderator has a... Oh. Never mind, apparently I left it as a... I swear I triple check... Oh. I updated the wrong number. So, not only did I leave the text-to-speech as a 100% chance, but instead of changing it to be 1 in 3, what I did unintentionally was I made the normal 1 in 16 for emotes, dashes, and colons, and all that stuff to call a random sound effect from the sound folder, is I accidentally made that 3 in 16. So I guaranteed text-to-speech for all members, and I made it more likely for sound effects. Whoops! We'll just real quick change these numbers back to what they're supposed to be in. You know what? It's a chatting stream. We'll at least do it to 1 in 2. This is being a chatting stream. I am... Man! I was wondering... I was really confused. I'm like, man, I know I updated the number... I remember I updated the number 1 to 3, and then I double-checked it, and I'm like, yeah, that's a 3, not a 1! I just refused to actually check where the 3 was in the Python script. Big whoopsie on my partsies. That is all I have to say on that one. Is big whoopsie on my partsies. Because, yeah, that was a bit of a big whoopsie on my partsies.
Oh, they must be bonked for this.
Says the person who can't even remember my 2 trap words. Good. I'm glad we're on the same page, Furfur. But yeah, I'm not going to show it, but what I am working on currently is, if anyone remembers, some time ago, I think it was... I forget if it was during Mama Sleeping Angels or what collab I had with Venvi, but he said Justice for Feet, and I asked him if he would post that hashtag as a as a channel community post. He said yes, as long as he got some level of payment, and the payment he decided on was an art commission, and he has given me what he wants, and I am now working on that. Also, this is an aside, not related to this. This is related to new model stuff, and part of the reason it's taking a little bit, I had a change of heart at some point recently. I'm like, I want to redesign this stuff, and then I got hyper inspired and looked up reference images for a thing, and I'm like, okay, yeah, I'm redesigning. The entire outfit. Hello, Hunter. How's my favorite asterisk dog doing? Let you roar? You doing pretty good? That's good. Well, you have a 1 in 16 chance and then a 1 in 10 chance of it being the roar. I am doing great, just working on a thing for Venvi, because I owe Venvi art as a payment, so I am paying Venvi with my art. Not showing it because I don't like showing the stuff as it goes. Big Sinclair, you don't get the same trigger words. Your trigger words for potential sound effects are emotes, and it's a 1 in 16, as opposed to for its normal words of roar. So you can do rar emote, rar emote, rar emote, rar emote, and each one of those has a 1 in 16 followed by a roughly 1 in 12? So it's like a 1 in... I can actually check real quick. What is the folders? What are you going to do? To binging lob or working on your own stuff too? Yes, enjoy the Lobotomy Corporation binge. How fareth areth you with? Yeah, ow! Okay, I love that. Order for your consumption. No, Hunter, I will posit it this way. The Lobotomy Corporation streams will always be there, along with the Library of Ruina, for you to catch up on. They'll always be there as they are. Any edits I made to them for bong bong incidents and potential other things. For it, you know what I'm referring to the bong bong racism incident. Where I have had to, any edits that have been made, there will be no more edits, but here, you can join us, be productive as part of the group, be productive on the productivity stream. Ow, the bruise on my arms, my elbow still hurts. You are aware indeed, and there's a reason Bong Bong is far less special to me than anyone else in the Project Moon community. Which is a shame. I would have loved to love Bong Bong, but, then came racism. Did meet a friendly bone, let's remember her instead. Indeed, there are... We met a Bong Bong of a darker mirror world who forgot what true Bong Bong was meant to be. The way of the bong was lost, truly, by that one. Oh, right, this is just meant to be bloop. I think I need to catch up on the Beyond Citadel streams. Actually, there is potential motivation for you to do that, potentially. Because they were just kind of fun streams. Also, I forgot to turn off the nudity in what viewed the gallery. Which I'm real glad YouTube didn't bonk me for, because oh my god, was there a lot of ass showing. Speaking of which, are they making another game? Sure it was an accident? Yes, because anyone who's there can tell you. What I would do is, I literally had a whole scene. Hold on, do I have it here? There's a lot more through. Yes, but YouTube has certain things. Hold on, where is it? We go here. I literally created this scene, which is what I would... Oh yeah, this is a funny thing. When I go invisible, it just becomes floating glasses. I literally would put this on where I would view the with nudity enabled gallery. And then when I was viewing it on stream, I would turn off nudity so that I could safely view it. This scene exists for the sake of when I was viewing the, viewing impure sights shield your eyes, We must... In hell we live indeed. In hell we live indeed. But what the hell? Huh? Wait a minute. Huh? Why is the arrow on screen? Okay, that's an interesting thing I've never seen before. I know what that is. That's like the arrow of, like, chat is active below. Hold on one sec. I gotta just apparently that's a thing now. What the hell? Where's the refresh button? Hold on, refresh. Yeah, there we go. That was chat being funky, because apparently changing the scene did that.
Blue ball tower tower.
Ferd, I don't need to hear about your blue balls. You are hikikomori. I can assume your balls are typically always blue. Because you think of a yandere and then realize one will never happen, and then they're just blue. Indeed, Hunter, indeed. Blue da boo dee da boo die, boo da boo dee da boo blue balls a dolly and die. If there is not a parody of that song that is instead about blue balls, I am mildly disappointed in humanity. You know, I would be really good to name layers when I'm working on projects, but unless I'm working on VTuber model stuff, I tend to not bother naming the layers.
Big gamble jackpot, baby 1-2. Chance 99% of speakers quit before they make their voice heard in the big loon stream. All this talk about blue balls is reminding me of something.
Hunter, I'm just... For the sake of things, can you please explain what blue balls have reminded you of? I am curious, but...
I am an insane person surrounded by insane people.
Exactly, that's why we all are good. Look, this is... My chat is just a love pile of insanity. Why did you send me an image? Why was I sent an image? Oh, I'm worried for this. Oh yeah, that thing! Which is oddly relevant considering what our conversation kind of progressed to yesterday. Man, that is a funny. I do question why that leads you to blue balls. DM image.png. Image is marked for spoiler. Sorry, apparently in the update, it now lets you see when... If it's able to drown in eternal sea more than sabers, will there be a... Oh, so are doing unnecessary things to enjoy life? There's a thing, isn't there a paradox of, Hunter, all that makes me think is that you've had a weird dream about Jesus that ended prematurely. I'm not gonna give any further context about what Hunter sent me, but yeah. What are we talking about? Worry not what we talk about, simply stare into the swirl. You do not need to know what we were talking about. In fact, feeling a little silly that you ever even inquired about such a thing. Don't worry about it. No. Do not worry about what we were talking about. You were simply going to worry about what we are talking about. We are currently talking about the swirl behind me and nothing else. Nothing else matters. Stare at that swirly. Stare at the big swirl behind me. Let the sentient glasses guide you into the swirl behind you. Stare at it. Let its chaos consume you. Let your brain slowly dissolve into the tendrils of it. Let your brain embrace what the swirl is. Now just keep staring at that, and keep thinking that nothing else matters but the swirl. Yes, indeed, nothing else matters but the swirl of chaos, the swirl of blood, the doys surrounding it, the lovely, lovely doy fish that are surrounding it, that loon over there who for some reason I refuse to remove from the scene, gazing upon it as well, also entranced by it, yes. And from the spiraling chaos, The swirling, not quite spiraling, the swirling. That is all you can see, that is all you can focus on. And from there you question nothing more. Because you need not question anymore, you need only know that this is your reality, this is what you see, this is what you exist to, and this is what you're looking at currently. You need nothing more. Totally voiceover meditations. I could probably do...
Thank you, Flying Classes of Doom.
Flying Classes of Doom. Look, my voice could be used for many things. I simply know not how to seek the opportunities of these things, is my problem. Sounds like a chapter of 1984. No, I forgot to get rid of the swirl. Hold on. Whoop. 1984 is simply what we're heading towards if the world progresses too much in the wrong direction, but let's not think Hello? 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 Face? Hello? Open up! Okay, my face stopped facing there for a minute. Don't worry about that too hard. I love all software. No, 1984 is simply what we're doing. I was just doing a little bit of, just, you know. Don't think too hard on it, you know? Just think about nothing but the swirl in my voice. That is the only things you need to think of. And all I need to think of is the thing I'm working on right now. Also, is it not just completely I love software so you hate hardware? You love software so you hate... Furret, that's not Twitter, that's a YouTube comment. Congratulations, you wrote a YouTube comment. Ah. Don't worry about what that was. Boop, boop, boop. Do you get the cookie now? Yeah, but you gotta bake it. You get the ingredients for the cookie for it, but you still gotta make that. You still gotta bake it. Get that oven, get that bacon. Bacon? Get baking, not bacon. Unless you want to have a bacon cookie. Ah, you just got ice cream? Why is everyone talking about their cream? The stream has devolved into blue balls and cream, and I can't help but feel that I've partially led to this. Which, in fairness, yes I have, because I've kind of directed it there because I thought it was mildly amusing. And I really can't complain at this point, but also, I'm going to complain needlessly because reasons. I am still part human at least. And therefore, I have to complain about things needlessly. Would you like a carrot? You have not used your oven in like 2 years. Furret, I challenge you. You know what, Furret? Furret. I challenge you. You order food. You can order a frozen pizza, right? I challenge you to at least order a frozen pizza.
I don't think chocolate ice cream should be in the big 3 ice cream flavors. Chocolate ice cream tastes like that sock I stole from Loon by only stealing one of the pair of socks.
You can do that. At least use your oven once, and then that is a test run. To be fair, I don't use my oven too much aside from, like I just said, frozen food. I mostly use the stovetop for cooking. Furret, can I issue you a challenge to do by the end of April relating to food? And we can set up a reward system. We can set up a reward for this as well if you want. The pizza thing or what? There would be. I would want it to be actual cooking as opposed to putting pizza in oven and setting a timer. So we can set up a reward too if you want. And I would want a photo of the cooked food as proof. Which I guess technically... I also want at least one picture of the stove in use. So we have a challenge, but we also have a reward. And what reward would you want, Furfur? What reward would you want? Your stove is electrical, so is mine. Which also I know means, look, electrical stove, like glass. When you say electrical, you mean like glass stovetop with heating elements, or instead of a bun you baked once for Thanksgiving. Don't send me a picture. Send me the bun. I want a PO box real quick. Exactly. Gotcha. So we have the exact same stove situation, except for some reason when my glass top cracked a couple years ago, and I had no input on what oven replacement I got because I live in an apartment. Spoiler alert. For some reason, they gave me an they gave me a smart stove, a smart oven and stove as a replacement, which basically means that I can set the temperature I can turn the oven on from my phone. Only if it's on the same Wi-Fi network, which it's like, cool, that would be, if I didn't live in a tiny place, that would be cool, but I live in a tiny place. That is some, Hunter, thank you for sending me a picture of your shiny glistening buns. Those are nice buns. Like, so much effort though? It is, but it can be worth it. So for it, the challenge I was gonna issue you was make yourself a taco. Which, you can do it as basic as you want. You could literally do unseasoned beef on a tortilla. On like a taco wrap. That is as far as I would say is like the bare minimum. I would encourage you to do more. But I would want that as a challenge. Just because that's one of the basic things I make. Ugh. So, you know, do not cook, it will take hair from your skull. I guess if you're gonna do that, must wait for as I already ordered your food for this. Okay. I see. That is reasonable. Wait for money for the month, then do that. But I have that as a challenge, and we can discuss a reward. Also, speaking of money, this is a thing. So I recently did my taxes. So as part of that is, you know, getting a, you know, the money you owe the government, yeah, blah blah blah. The horrible thing of government knows exactly how much you owe, but you gotta just figure that out because reasons and middle fingers, and the government just doesn't like you. Enjoy someone else. Look, I get it. This is not exactly a stream for like active consumption. It's not the normal chaos. This is just me being, you know, I'm working on something secret off to the side. But I did that, and I will say this year was fun for taxes because it was the first year I really actually took seriously on what I could write off as a business expense. This was mildly annoying because I found out that apparently if you search so for reference, I searched for every game I played on stream for the Steam in my email, every purchase of a game I played on stream, which, by the way, Google, if you use in Gmail the search functionality for like Steam purchase, it does not sort it by whatchamacallit. It does not sort it by received date. It just kind of sorts it by a random order seemingly. So that was fun. But going through there and being able to be like, I played that game on stream, tax write-off, tax write-off, tax write-off, tax write-off, because it's a business expense. All the upgrades I did to my PC at the beginning of last year, tax write-off as a business expense. Even down to the gotcha funds for Limbus Company, because I did that for stream. You know, tax write-off, tax write-off, tax write-off, find all the gotcha purchases. So, there was actual fun in doing that, because I could be like, oh my god, seeing like what counts, you know, this is all tax write-off stuff, so. Oh, gotcha funds as a tax write-off is something many dream of. Hey, when I get funded to do gotcha on stream, it is technically a tax write-off. Okay? So we're all perfectly fine, okay? We are all perfectly fine. Don't worry, my stepmom is an expert on taxes. Apparently, this is actually a thing. I don't tell a lot of people that it's the Vtuber stuff I do. So when I just mentioned YouTube channel that earned money, she was like, oh yeah, literally anything, like any haircuts or anything you did to make yourself look good on camera, that counts. Despite the fact that that example is funny to me because I haven't gotten a haircut since 2020. But just anything, yeah, that is apparently, that is a fun thing of just a lot of stuff can just be, yeah. Or does it make yourself presentable for camera? I guess I could technically... Okay, this is a thing. I did buy the nail polish for hand cam streams so that I can have some, you know, the level of immersion and all that. And I'm just like, man, I could write off nail polish as a tag. Ah, that's fun. But if you ever get monetized, that is very much a thing. Keep track of everything you spend on anything you use for the content creation. It can be used as a tax write-off. Albeit, like, the startup stuff before, like, just genuinely, if you... It might actually... Hunter, technically, you don't even have to be monetized. If you intend...
Slay queen.
Oh, yes, I'm gonna slay that queen. Let me just black out the screen real quick while I slay her in the bedroom tonight! I spat all over my screen. Hey, Freeman, how you doing? But yeah, this was a fun tax year, because it was like, yes... all of the computer components, which, God, that's Also, Hunter, random thing, do you mind if I bring up our conversation about computer stuff onto stream? Because I had a random thought on that one, just off stream, while I was thinking about it, because every so often my mind just kind of wanders. Go ahead? Okay. So one thing I was thinking of, I don't know exactly how viable it is right now, but with what you would need for a PC, and I know they're good at this, the recent release of Intel CPUs seem quite good, and I know Intel has very good, productivity, and actually quite decent integrated graphics. So, if you wanted to save stuff on a computer, I haven't researched it too much, but it was an idea I had just kind of off the cuff of a no GPU system, because GPUs are quite expensive. With the most recent Intel releases, their Core, what the piss are they even called? Intel screwed up their naming scheme some time ago. But they're very good productivity CPUs, like the friggin' $250 to $300 Intel CPUs rivaling the top end, like twice the price AMD CPUs. Even with what I pay you, they're too expensive. Mazorg, what is too expensive? Computers? Yes. Also, hi, Mazorg. But with what you need, because I know also, this is a very random tidbit. I know on the Distractable podcast, Markiplier was talking about movie making stuff, and he had a case where one of his GPUs, like, got a cracked, whatever the PCIe connector got cracked, so he kind of had to just makeshift do it on Intel's integrated CPU graphics and that, and it worked, and I'm just like, okay, Intel has good on that. And if you really wanted to save, you could do a no GPU system, which, given the current PC components market being So painful. The evil service, all the individual, the AI graphics with evil Requiem example. Ferd, I mentioned that in the stream that I had seen that. That was also just chatting intervals of working and chatting. Pretty much, I'm working on a thing that is not like no time pressure or anything. So we're having chill time here. That's that. Ugh. But yeah, no, the whole ugh. Also, speaking of Resident Evil, Mazoric, what are your days that you are free to watch stream? Yes, I want you to be free on the Resident Evil days. Man, it looks like it's almost take notes of the moment, but remember note it as you more in detail the next time you have a chance. Oh, yes, do that. Because I had the thought, this was just a thought in passing, I would need to research it more, or I would say it's your PC that we're talking about, so you would need to you would probably want to research it more. But yeah. Over Saturday, I remember Sunday. So what about tomorrow? Oh, have a good time with friends. Tell them I said hi. I don't know them. Just tell them some. Tell them some. You know what? Describe me however you want. Tell them some rando says hi. But yeah, Hunter, that is a thing that I would say either research into it or yourself a little bit as well, or I would want to look into it more. I do just tend to follow. We will see if I can make. Exactly. That is how you do that. If I can make the thumbnail and I have the energy to stream tomorrow, I will do that because I would like to. This stream is going to be short. I only intend this stream to be about 2 hours because I would like sleepage. That's that. And then this, which is that. It's also be an ENVtuber creator. No, that's just something I know, is that Intel has been kind of behind a while, at least for gaming, but for productivity, they've still always been kind of good. And from the reviews I've seen on the recent CPU, the integrated graphics is not a thing I've seen a lot of, but the market is just terrible right now. Like, genuinely. The PC, so I put about $2,000 of upgrades into my PC at the beginning of last year. So a little over a year ago at this point. So my RAM has over quadrupled in price. The exact same RAM I purchased has over quadrupled in price. And all of the SSDs in my system have over doubled in price. So, and bearing in mind, the total scope of the upgrade was new case, new case, new CPU cooler, new motherboard, new RAM, new SSDs. And the current computer I have is all SSD. It is 244. It is 10 terabytes of SSD storage, plus I have my extra. Oh, that was it. I didn't do as much tax write-off as I could. I forgot actually completely to include the $300. Oh, damn it! I messed up on my taxes. Damn it! The government could have given me more of my money back. Overtime, but it seems it was wrong. Pretty much, I could resell this at like easily double profit for what I have paid for it. The only thing that is off on it is the GPU, which I don't know if it's driver issues or if my GPU is dying. Because I have at this point, it has been in service for almost, when did I get this? I think it was around Resident Evil 4 remake time. Resident Evil 4, I think, was around the time I got the CPU, the GPU upgrade? So it's almost been in service. My current GPU has almost been in there for 3 years. I don't know if the GPU is dying or if it's driver updates or what. But I've had multiple times where my entire computer will freeze up, and it actually regains responsiveness after like a minute. But that's still incredibly concerning of a thing where it just goes non-responsive for a minute. Oh, excuse me. And then it's just like, oh yeah, I'm alive again. Ugh. You know, that's only a little bit mildly potentially concerning. Not at all guaranteed happy concern. Guaranteed happy concern? What is a happy concern? The news of Windows 11 update breaking everything for certain setups. I have not. Can you inform me of what those setups entail? Because I would very much like to know what the breakage is. Happy concerned equal results make you yippee. You know what? Hopefully results will make yippee. Hopefully. Concern equals results, yes. That does make sense.
Bug I remember was users using laptop hardware losing access to their C drive.
That's quite concerning because C drive is usually the boot drive. So that's a very concern. That is a very, after causing thousands worth in damage. Only thousands? Only thousands? That sounds like a bigger than thousands issue. Just my opinion, though. That sounds like it would be an issue over the thousands. Was probably where we severely downplayed it. Obviously they would, because they wouldn't want the courts knowing how much money they actually owed. Because if the courts know how much damage they did, the courts will demand more, and we can't have the courts getting what they're owed. Legal tactics, everyone. Legal tactics.
Very legal tactics. I don't know why this is the voice I'm using for legal tactics, but it feels fitting.
It also feels like it's destroying my throat, so I'm gonna stop doing that voice. That voice in particular just seems to not goodage. You are drawing a guy with a cat on his lap. This is the best thing you've ever drawn. Oh my god, so cute. You better pet the damn cat you're drawing. Ooh, there's arm draped over. Well, hopefully it no crushy the kitty.
Another update bug I remember that was fixed by telling users to uninstall the update was pre-installed apps like Notepad
You don't have a license to use MS Paint. Oh no, you don't have a license to suffer. You don't have a license to paint? What the piss? Huh? What? I recently added layers to paint. Apparently that's been a thing for way longer than I've thought it was. Because I remember at some point there was a discussion in the Discord server where I was like, hold on, they have layers! And then someone else was like, yeah, they added that a while ago. And this was months ago, if not years. What's that build driver about software versus hardware? Legacy hardware issues, not factoring companies slowly killing some legacy hardware. Friggin' the GPU I have is on like a limited support thing, like AMD.
So the bug was caused by the apps suddenly assuming you got them from the Microsoft Store, and then when they noticed you didn't, then they assumed you pirated them.
Ah, I see. How lovely. But I remember, like, the GPU I currently have, RX 6950 XT, it is a good graphics card. It's the AMD's, it's not as powerful, but it's the AMD's 3090 equivalent of the same generation. But AMD split the 7000 and 9000 into their own driver bracket and are now doing different drivers for their they're doing like seemingly more up-to-date, more good drivers for their more modern hardware for the 7 and 9000 series, while having a separate division work on 6000 series and earlier. And I'm just kind of here like, in all honesty, the fact that I got this graphics card for $600 when I did was a great deal on it. Because at the time, genuinely, $600 for the graphics card was just a good deal. However, just in 3 years later, potentially looking at an upgrade, you know, I unironically every so often have an eBay tab open, which just has, you know, secondhand. Because I do not want to give money to the to the either AMD or Nvidia directly at this point. With some of the stuff I see on that one, I'm just like, yeah, go secondhand market, give it to the people who are, you know, give it to the resellers, ignore the straight from company stuff, because I don't want to fund what they're doing. I don't want to support what they're doing. I want them to be like, hey, lower your prices, make it more reasonable, make it... asses. Hello, Frank, how are you doing? How's the warm embrace of your favorite Iron Maiden doing? Ah. That's also funny. I have two instances of YouTube chat open. One is in live and one is in top. The friggin' GL asses... Oh, because it probably thinks you said ass. Yeah, that message got filtered out by top chat. You must burp. To be fair, I'm thinking about doing that soon as well. Don't like about war crimes without you. For a time, your manager. I manage the war crimes, and if I want to war crime without you, I shall war crime without you. Therefore, war crime. Therefore, war crime. Everyone here is gonna burn alive. And the Queen of Hatred, Dawn, is gonna laugh at you for that. Huh. I realize now it's partially covering the chat with how that goes now. Also, we're gonna smell, don't worry. Everyone enjoy the smelling. Everyone here enjoy your smelling. Why am I talking so weird about smelling? Enjoy the smelling. I'm forcing you. Enjoy the smelling and all the thing. Yes, you're going to enjoy the smell. Aww. Hunter, I have seen the image you have sent me, and that all was a response to it. You now say, wait, I'm leaking DMs. Yeah, I'm leaking DMs by reading them aloud. Wait, Robug? I love spelling errors. I love spelling errors. Anyway, hold on. Let's just hide these, and everything is good now. I could turn on this timer. Why was it 10 minutes? Idols of Hat. Why do I feel like I've heard of that and or seen that? Oh, I'm going to wipe away arm over the kitty cat. I will not say anymore. I'm going to look at that because that does sound mildly interesting. Been out for a while. Release date on Steam, April 9th, literally today. Yeah, it's been out for like a couple hours maybe. Hold on, can I find this in my just search? Sort by release date. I can literally find it in my normal... Definitely not idle game in Dark Soul. Idols of Ash. It released like maybe a few hours ago. Oh, another climbing game, a climbing game type of thing. I say another because I thought of White Knuckle immediately. It do look fun. It do look potential fun. However, I am currently... Wait, hold on. I didn't mean to leave the timer on. I do want to say I am trying to get through my backlog of games to play. Before I spend too much on new games to play, because I have a massive backlog of games I'm meaning to play on stream at some point. So, that'll be priority number 1 first, and then we can spin ourselves off into these other ones. Although I do like just grabbing games and going, because I do every so often want just short streams, like, I want tonight to be a short stream. Although, on that note of tonight, me want is tonight be short stream, I do want do be right back real quick. So, I'm going to commit be right back real quick. I almost hit stop streaming. No, we switch to be right back, and then we turn on the boing boing chip chip. A real quick be right back. Hopefully real quick. I hit the wrong button there. Also, Freeman. I don't know if this was the intent. Blah. Why is that a thing now? Why is that? Okay, apparently something messed up with, like, scene changing and the chat.
I have returned. The blue has returned too.
Hold on, let me unblue your balls. Boop. There we go. Freeman, first off, boop boop. Thank you for the super chats. Also, my brain had a flashback to however many years ago. For anyone who is HoloLive fan, the friggin' I don't know. I remember it from Callie's streams of whenever she had to go to be right back. That just the waterfall of blue that would be greeting her of super chats that when she would leave and come back. And I was like, is that what they intended? My god, that is a hell of a flashback of my early introduction to VTuber stuff. Well, what is your well then, Furfur? What is the well then about? So it made me think about that stuff from way back when that I hadn't thought about in I don't know how many years. The wall of blue? Yes. The wall of blue. The waterfall, as it is called, if I'm not mistaken, right? But yes, Freeman, thank you, as always, for you throwing money my way. God, not only do you tolerate me, unless you, but just as important, idle. Yes, me, myself, and I had a very lovely idle meeting, and there was a waterfall. Thank you, as always, you little bastard. You already have 50 layers, For a regular drawing, yes, that is many. But also me flashing to, Wait, I wonder if the pinned message is screwing it up. I wonder. Either way, but also me who makes my own VTuber models, only 50 layers? Child's play. Usually, only make no comment because you hit the limit unwilling to. Let me just also hold on. How many? I think it was like 160 to 170 layers. Oh, and that was after layer binding. If I know, there's a lot of layers. Remember that video goes up one of those be club fight rolls. I specifically remember it to Callie though for some reason. I don't know why she is the one I mainly remember. To be fair, she was one of the first main VTubers I watched. The olden days of me watching Gen 1 HoloLive English stuff. You know, at that point, I think that might speak to inefficiencies, but also, I know I've done similar. I know I can do similar stuff. How fun that is. Oh, wait a minute. Oh no, this is different. Mine? That appears to be a yours type of thing, unless anyone else can say. How's everyone's experience doing? How's everyone holding up experience-wise? Oh, we're back? Oh, we're back. The stream is fine, Hunter's fine, Furfur is die. I think that is a Furfur issue then. Oh, screw it, may as well make it this way. Might as well make it this way. I love the censorship. I love the censorship here.
While my internet is not bad, it's simply timeouts like up to 4 times a day.
Love Germany. We love Germany here, don't we? Just everyone say it here. We love Germany. We love Germany. We love germination. We love Germangany. Jordan and I can never be perfecter. God, I am hopeful. This is a thing that I'm hoping for later in this year. My internet ability in my area is supposed to be getting an upgrade in like November of this year. So, hopefully, that means I can get good internet later in the year that does not... This is the Shrekening Shrek. We love Germany, indeed. Shrek is love, Shrek is life. Indeed, Freeman, you understand it. You understand it well. Aww. Sorry, me just debating on like a certain level of detail if I want, or what I want to put into here with a certain level. Oh, excuse me, a certain level of detail or not. Don't mind me with random stick nearby. Don't mind me, mine just drifting there for a sec. Ugh. Sorry, I just got actual focus there. Oh, yeah. Posture check. I'm not gonna lie, it's kind of hard to posture check when I'm bending over a drawing tablet. So, I mean, that posture check can be for everyone else, but I'm also kind of technically posture check myself. I was on the German. It was like a few weeks ago, the comedian was doing jabs at how Minister President of Germany is gonna reestablish German as a military country again. Well, to be never mind, I'm not gonna go down that train of thought. I'm not knowledgeable enough on... Yeah, I'm just not knowledgeable enough to be able to commentary on that. But I will say, haha. That will be my one thing, is just haha.
German government is basically, okay, we have 3 parties at power. Party 1, okay, let's do this. Party 2, butt money. Party 3, NUH, let's do the opposite, and repeat that for years.
Oh, NUH. The repeat cycle for years. You know what? I just love our cycles of everything, you know? I mean, to be fair, the US has quite frequently been just back forth, because this party does bad job, flip. This party does bad job, flip. This party does bad job, flip. At least as far as I've seen, I have not. I say that as someone who doesn't know what the hell I'm talking about. Pick your poison. Legitimately, even like I talk with my dad about this, and voting, at least from how we view it in the US, is not you're voting for who you actually like. You're just looking at the candidates and being like, yes, which turd smells slightly better? Because both of them smell like absolute they both smell like shit. But which one is the slightly less appalling shit pile? You know? Like, even my dad... I know this is just a thing, but even my dad, who is aged as my dad, is saying, like, hopefully the next turds we get are about 30 years younger. And I'm just like, you know what, yeah, we got pre-dug grave fossils in the US as our power candidates. Or some kind of we'll have a party rotation and the occasional random team composition. Yeah, you're not wrong. It's like that one time where I randomly was at the that's just a random bit of history of me where I think I've said on stream I used to play the ever-loving hell out of Smite back in the day, and I went to the 2018 World Championships, I think is the one I went to. And just the out of nowhere, like, yes, the random ass Anubis pick. I don't know what Anubis is like in that game right now. I just know he was always seen as like the pub stomper and not actually good. And then to see him on the World Championship stage was just like, huh? Or at least a game in the higher up. I want to say it was that one, but in one of the games there. But, you know, memory can be a bit faulty at times. Oh. when it comes to balancing a character that's bad but lower. When it comes to balancing a character that is bad competitively but lower brand and casual, despise the character, buff anywhere, or silent removal. How do we put it? Like, this is my experience from looking at Smite. Again, like, I had many hours in Smite at the time. Like, the two of the big pub stomp characters that I knew back in my day of playing the games. I know Loki particularly had a complete rework, but like Anubis, Loki, others, I don't remember them all by name at this point. I haven't played the game like literally since 2019, I think. But those characters kind of existed as, they are fine as is. They can exist as pub stomping. They are effectively their teaching tools, because they are pub stomp, and if you're getting stomped by them, you learn how to beat them, and that improves you. Genuinely, it's not even, you don't need to buff them, you don't need to silent removal. You can literally just have them be as is, and they can serve their purpose as being a pub stomp and effectively a teaching moment for the lower tier players. And it's like, well, you can't figure out how to beat him, you're not good enough then. But if you have a good like, I specifically remember Anubis, insane very high damage, AoE damage at that, but zero mobility and incredibly easy to pounce on. So just like any bit of actual lock, like, you have no mobility, you have no, they'll punish a player for something their team, but the problem is mainly if they punish a player for something their teammates do instead of a player fighting them. I mean, if you look at it this way, every game, like even any type of competitive game, an advantage is gained when you identify the weak links.
That is, should be if.
If main, which is, there are two is. Oh, that is, gotcha. Is those is if, wait, that is, my problem is those is mainly if, I don't know what I'm trying to say, but that is also another teaching moment of like, it technically does punish the team, but also every individual person is responsible for knowing what they can do given the circumstances. In any type of game. You do the best that you can do. You do get punished. You phrased it the wrong way. You did. Does it punish the team? Yes. But any game, if you can identify a weak link in the team and exploit that weak link, if there is a player who was worse. I remember there was a game I was in where for some reason at the time, again, talking about Smite, I was in silver, but for some reason, I guess there weren't a lot of people playing ranked, I was in a game where there were two pro players who I recognized on each team. Needless to say, I'm pretty sure I was identified as a weak link by the enemy team, and I was also forced into a role that I was not normally playing. I got one kill early on, and then I was farmed the whole way. Oh, it's horrible because cough care that heals on full kill and teammates dying. No, I do get that, but that is a thing of, you need to do what you can do, and you need to always account for, like, you need to analyze your team. That was a thing you learn, is you analyze your team, and you do the best you can in spite of them, or even with them. You learn what they're doing. You either take advantage or play around it if your team is playing subpar. Or if you're like, okay, we can definitely do blah, blah, blah. Like, we go in here. Oh, but my team isn't here. You need, knowing your team and getting the feel of your team, even as a solo player, is very much a part of it. I don't really get. No, for it, that's the thing. It's not gambling playing solo. Playing solo does make it harder, obviously, because you don't have a communication. But you need. Yeah, I'm so. You need to learn how to play. Sometimes there's going to be a mismatch of teams. Your team is going to get steamrolled. And it's like, yeah, it kind of sucks to, it sucks to lose. But at the same time, it's a learning experience where even if you lose and you don't think you could have done anything better, every time you do anything is a chance to look at, okay, what did I do? What could I have done better? What did I do here and there? There are actually... This is a little bit of... if you somehow dig up me from this, I'm going to be surprised. There are old, because I used to watch pro streamers of Smite at the time. There are videos on a couple of pro Smite players' YouTube channels, if the videos are even still up, that have me playing as, in a viewer match they were doing. One of which I remember, I remember there were, I forget what, oh god, I remember the comments that one of the pro players made on my, on a few of my plays in one of them. And it's like, viewer games, not taken too seriously and all that, but, Ah, the good old days when I enjoyed those type of games. And I also primarily played solo, if anyone is wondering. I think I did have one, YouTube chat timed out over here. Coolio. Hello, chat, YouTube people, are you still living? My YouTube chat died on one end. Hello, are you still alive? Breathe, darn you!
We alive?
Hell yeah, we... Why did that sound like it had a question mark at the end of it? Loon got noticed by Senpai Sansama. Indeed. Hello, I'm back. I just dropped a thing real quick. Also on the ground, because I'm too lazy to pick it up, and I don't have a need for it, I have an old USB drive. This is, and by old, I mean, it has a 2013 version of Minecraft and a 2014 version of League of Legends on it, on a thumb drive. The lovely drive I have around for legacy purposes, and literally nothing else because it will not be useful. It's like how big of a drive are you? It's also spent some time on some stuff that I don't want to plug it into thing for worry of it damaging the port it plugs into. I don't know what a spork is. I've never seen one in porcelain. you have to spork and into porcelain. To be fair, the main reason I know what a spork is because Taco Bell. Also, guess we glasses now? I've been glasses for a long time. I just usually choose to be blind on stream. That is usually just how I choose, is blindness. Also, hello, Elfington. How are you doing? Are you doing good? Are you existing well? Have you consumed enough water today? Are you hydrated? Are you hydrated? You better be hydrated. Hydration is important to existence, and if you don't want to exist, then I don't tolerate that. No. Choose existence, choose hydration. Hydration is very important. Yes. Hydration. You drink 4 bottles of water a day? How big? Those really big Gatorade ones? Give me an ounce and or milliliter count. You don't know, like, exact numbers? That sounds like a you problem that you need to...
Fetch them out of the trash and look on the back.
Fred, how do you determine the back of a perfectly... That's a circular bottle. Where is back? Also, by the way, if it wasn't clear... This is just for comedic effect. Good job on hydrating that much today. You did good. I would say what do you want as a reward, but I can't reward you from here, so you know what? I'll just say good job.
Alright, fan is not a thing in Marika.
What the hell is fan? Yeah, apparently yes. I don't remember if I responded because I was also me doing a lot of things. Very pretty, very... I wish to sleep there.
Bring bottle back to store, get 20 to 25 cents.
Oh, that is a thing. There's some places that say... it's usually less than that. 20 to 25 cents is quite highballing it, but it's usually 5 or 10 cents. If I'm not mistaken. That was the vibe you're going for. Good. Let me sleep under your sky. Your stagai. Your stagai. Let me sleep under your stagai. I did the mental math and calculation was the horrible ish. For the very big ones. I guess I am talking about just standard can. What do you mean very big ones? I guess very big bottles. And that's also usually only a can. Hold on. Is there a crush in return for any cents amount on this can? Oh, that's also only... Okay. It is, whatchamacallit, for it as, it's not the states, it depends also on the state you live in. Yeah, because this one gives a few states listed as to where it can be delivered and recycled for money back. The rules don't seem united. Don't seem united in a lot of ways. Very much so. Which, to be fair, I have said this. Texas is one of the 50 states is larger than your entire country. So obviously there's going to be people with different desires, different needs, different climates, different biomes, different things that they need policies on, different people with different opinions on different policies. And then there is a division of states' rights between federal rights. There's a reason like minimum wage, federal minimum wage has not raised in a while, but individual states have raised their minimum wages. But the federal minimum wage is still like unlivable. And there, yeah, I feel like, I was say, can you or can you not be, can or can not can because you can't. Why keep it over such a big clash in a lot of ways? If I'm being completely honest, I do not entirely know. Because I think, at points, I have actually said that potentially splitting the country would not be the terriblest of ideas. There is that. The United States part of it means it is stronger in a way. And yeah, the individual militaries is that big thing. There does come a point where I'm just like, there is so much division in the country of... To be fair though, what country doesn't have its fair share of division of opinion on a lot of things? Is my one counterpoint here. About our opinions. Well, Hunter, here's the thing. I don't know how it is across the world, but we also have the thing of, we live here. And you don't want Disneyland to be its own sovereign country. Now, what would be worse if Disneyland itself was its own sovereign country, or if Disney as a company had its own sovereign country? This is going to the responsibility of the power of a country anyway. That is, well, to be fair, yes, and I'd say. It has the money and monopoly over certain properties of a country. Or of probably smaller company. It easily, I say, has far more influence than smaller countries. Don't mind the noises I make. Blah. A country just for Disney, it shall no copyright your gene. Oh god, the moment we start copyrighting gene codes is a freaking It sounds like this. I mean, to be fair, I haven't really played a Fallout game. I do have a copy of New Vegas, like an Xbox 360 copy of New Vegas, just sitting on a shelf behind me. Gene copyright is Nintendo's thing. Nintendo's thing is lawsuits. Which I made the joke, Hunter, I know when you said they're suing the US government over the tariffs, I kind of just like, I haven't bought a Switch 2 yet, but now this would be a funny time to buy a Switch 2. It's like, yes, you're suing the US government, now I support you. The funny time.
Ugh.
Now they're having genes that copyrighted? Exactly. And they put the copyright on there afterwards. So, you know, you can't exactly complain about it. It doesn't matter. They will put the copyright on you after the fact, and you will be able to nothing do say about.
Nintendo has noticed your gene code is too close to the copyrighted one for Mario. Your parents are now sued for your birth.
Bullshit, I ain't Italian. Nor plumber. And as we all know, plumber is genetic. But oh, hiccups. Oh, sorry, Hunter, I'm stealing your job. Didn't know they would invade Italy for having a large population carrying the names Mario and Luigi. Is that even a common birth name in those countries? Will drive a child Italy sold to a family in Russia? Well, that's dark as hell. Emily isn't that a thing you can at least get gene tests on? To be like, yes, blah 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 this and blah 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 that, you know? But I don't want to see it. Oh, I would love to watch you. I would love. Look. They're nice-ish people, and she was a toddler. Human trafficking is still human trafficking. Even if you say she got lucky on the people she was trafficked to, human trafficking is still human trafficking. And human trafficking is bad. Like, my brain is thinking best case scenario, the people that bought the trafficked human were people who somehow had the connections but were good of heart trying to save the people, but also at that point, why not go to authority? There's a whole thing in here of just not want to touch topic. What are you? Oh, that's what you are. A little knowledge on their way, yeah, that is, yeah. Probably for the better. There are some cases where ignorance is bliss, and it is probably better to remain ignorant on certain things. Oh. Because, well, apparently, the book, when you say it was apparently awful, do you mean the... Dark joke incoming. Do you mean that she was just that bad of a writer, or the experience was terrible? You mean the book? Oh, funny enough. Oh, well, then, you know what? I feel less bad about the joke then, because apparently it wasn't even a joke, it was just reality.
Ah, yes, the average loon stream goal work. Tangent 1, NSFW, Tangent 2, World Politics Corporation BS, Tangent 3, the horrors of reality.
You know what, Furt, on one hand, that is this thing of me attempting to be productive. However, in this particular case, I don't think that is the result of me being productive, or me attempting to do a chatting stream and being productive. We are far enough into the stream where I'm now going to say, this has been another one of Loon has consumed adult beverages before and during the streams. So there was other things influencing this. You've been got. There was other outside influence on the topics. The tangent is being productive. I have been being productive during this time, but... well then, indeed, just a mildly sad. No. This was one of the rare cases where it was just like, ah yes, consume the alcohol on stream. Because let's be real, most of the time if the topic gets super dark, I'm just like, we're trying to have fun, let's not talk about that. Feeling a wee bit silly today? Well, to be fair, yes, but it wasn't natural silly. Also, fun fact, this one I haven't said, one of the Limbus streams in the past couple of months was also a secretly Loon was consumeth the alcoholith stream. I'm not gonna say which one it was. Because frankly, I don't even remember which one it was. Looking for that. Yeah, you'll catch up to that in a few weeks when you're done going through Lobotomy Corporation and the library. But yes, and also, fair point. We are hitting the point where my ability to have stuff just flush out of my body is coming into be a pain. Because I am already feeling mostly back to normal. Which I find mildly annoying. This is why I haven't drunk much over the years, is because it does not last long, and then I have to drink way too much to maintain it, and then I end up sick. But for this one, I was like, I know it won't last long, and then I'll just be able to sleep. Are you a Hulk? Okay, this is a thing I'm gonna bring up, because I think I mentioned it on stream, but I want to bring it up again. Because like a month ago at this point, I had try using a sauna to flush it out. Freeman. The problem is not flushing it out. The problem is it flushes out too quickly, and therefore I cannot... The problem is my body gets the drunken feeling out of my system, but so to maintain a feeling of drunk, I have to consume more. And then if I go too far on that, the consuming more, even if I'm not feeling drunk, it go bleh. But no, there was a thing where it was like a month ago I was with my cousin and I was like, oh, you've been to the gym and you're like 30 pounds heavier than me. Yeah, you probably can beat me in an arm wrestling thing. Let's sit down and have that. And for some reason, like he's not... Like, his weight is not from being overweight, I'll tell you that much, based on me looking at him. But I'm just like, you're 30 pounds heavier than me and I still won this. What? I'm deceptive, is what I am. Because I don't look like I can very easily pass off that I should not be what I am, but then it's just like, ah, yes.
Look at the strength from those middle vengeance tattoos.
I don't have a single tattoo on my body. That is just a thing. I don't know. Freaking, I had this analogy at some point years ago where for some reason I was born into a living tank. That is unironically something I said years ago, where I'm just like, for some reason, that is just what I am. Internet? I can't tell if mine dropped recently, but it potentially did. I could not tell you. The frame drops have gone up since the last time I checked it a couple hours ago. Did YouTube die? No, YouTube is fine. Everyone is still chatting there. Loon is a reverse elf. What do you mean by reverse elf? I am tall. Like, actually, funny enough, some years ago I was told I have a, whatchamacallit, I gave off Legolas vibes. Just, different hair color. Oh, are you not quite that one. I've said I'm like somewhere between 6'3.5" and 6'4". YouTube has perished. Well, for its YouTube has died. Germany has revoked YouTube. Rip Germutube. Rip Germerturb.
Piddly Pumperson.
Indeed, Piddly Pumperson. You're 5'0". Oh god, you are somehow still taller than my cousin, who I don't think ever got that tall. I do have one really short cousin, which is really funny because my other cousin, who is her brother, is the only living family member who I can see eye to eye with in the literal sense, because he is the only one who is close to as tall as me. Your height is Pumperson? Yeah, Furret, you change your height every time we've talked. I swear you've said you've been taller every single time we've brought up the topic. There's a male elves bald buddy comic. Why? I don't know why, but the bald buddy, for some reason, that just seems concerning. Also, I did say I wanted the stream to be shorter so I could go to sleep, and then I wanted to stream tomorrow, so... just wanted to keep going up? No, because I'm usually cautious when standing up because me hit head on certain ceilings. Look, if you never stretch in such a way to make you make those type of noises, you ain't stretching good. But yeah, like I said, I wanted the stream to be shorter, but I also don't like having more than 2 days be the stream gap. And I could not determine a game I wanted to play that I have that would also be this short. So, yeah, when you crack your back, hold on, let me crack my back and do my normal back cracky noises. Are we ending already? Yes, like I said, this one was supposed to be short, but because I also wanted to sleep early, so that I do intend on streaming. Tomorrow should be a Resident Evil stream. So that should be fun. Oh, right, last time I died by getting real deep tongue. And yes, that is exactly what it sounds like. But for now, here. Hold on, I have to take the glasses off because otherwise they, you know what they do. So glasses go. But indeed, Ferret, you know exactly the drill. I thank you everyone who came. I hope everyone here enjoyed. Hope someone other than me was able to be productive in this. Hunter, I know you were as well. But for now, I say, as per usual, as per always, as per... But you couldn't say it in a normal way, Hunter. None of us here are normal. Say it in the abnormal way, and I'll say hubba-bye really slowly so that you have time to type it out. As per usual. Also, Hunter, if that's what you're trying to say, you're not the one keeping me up because I'm usually up that late anyway doing other things. You are not keeping me up. But today I go sleepy early because I also didn't have a normal nap today. Anyway. Ferret in the blank message. Anyway. Uncalled for guilt. It is uncalled for. You should feel guilty about having guilt. How dare you? Freeman, how dare you? Freeman, how dare you have a... Why did I want to say a last second super chat? Making me hard. Anyway, before I ramble on any more than I already have, bye-bye.